Hey everyone, J-Funk here, and today we're taking a look at the Mythic Carapace of N'Zoth encounter in Nyalotha from a Windwalker perspective. Now, first off the bat, what you're going to notice is that I don't use my Touch of Death on cooldown on the pull here, because I want to have it up in about 15 seconds when the growth-covered tentacle spawns. Now, the reason I want it there is because I want to be able to kill this tentacle very fast, as it will get the adaptive membrane cast on it. An adaptive membrane is a huge shield, and once you break it, it does damage equal to what it absorbed to the target. Additionally, in phase 1, you're going to see that there's going to be 2 tentacle spawns here, or I guess 4 tentacles. So on Mythic, the tentacle, where the tentacles spawn is set. So this eye stalk here will always spawn here. Now, very unfortunately, I get the mind bomb that happens right before, right as this gaze spawns, so my TOD doesn't actually go off. This is our kill pull. This is our kill pull. So unfortunately for me, I just get unlucky this pull in terms of what mechanics I get at certain times. But anyways, we kill that eye stalk. I go over here. We kill these 2 hemorrhages on the tentacle. Now from this point on, I'm not going to use any more cooldowns during this phase until phase 2. But at this point, this phase is pretty much done. It's pretty much over. There really isn't much else that goes on in this phase. In about 15 seconds, we're going to use our cloak, and we're going to go kill the second Gaze of Madness, the eye stalk that spawns. Make sure you be careful and don't get hit by these tentacles. And they're going to like trap us in, but then we just use the cloak, go right over, and then we just head over to this eye stalk. Now, I'm going to interrupt the first cast of this right here. This is set interrupts. I'm going to interrupt the first one. I'm going to Fist of Fury. Then after this Gaze of Madness dies, I'm going to go to the left here and kill those 2 hemorrhages. And then after that, we won't need any more boss damage, and then we can just wait for phase 2. So for phase 2 is very similar to Heroic, but there are some pretty big differences. The main one is that after you complete phase 2, after you defeat all of the cysts, I believe what they're called, you will immediately transition into phase 3. Additionally, Rathian will not follow us into phase 2, so you have no like sanity restoration for phase 2. Additionally, when you go into phase 3, usually your sanity goes up to 100 before phase 3. Not the case here. You can go in there with 90 by accident. So we're gonna drag the boss over to here. We're gonna DPS him, and we're waiting to push him at a very specific time. He pushes at 50%, so we want to get him to 50 right about now-ish, right before he casts his membrane. We're very close to getting this membrane off, and honestly, he got it off. We thought he wasn't going to phase, but he managed to do it. So what we're going to do there is we have a macro that will focus a mouseover target, which in this case is a demonic gateway. This is the only way that you can focus a gateway. Now I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go back a little bit. And then we have a there's a keybind in game to interact with mouseover. So you mouse over the focus, which is down below, and it will use the gateway. We're gonna take this gateway, and then once we get into phase 2, I'm assigned to the left side. And what we figured out is that me using Touch of Death on the first cyst here, or the first I believe it's a cyst or a growth or whatever it's called, is a waste. And I'm going to go directly to the second one and use all my cooldowns. So I'm going to do that by using Flying Serpent Kick. I'm going to Tiger's Lust once I'm on the slowing cysts, so that I'm not slowed anymore. If you remove the slow from this, it just doesn't slow you anymore. So I'm just going to go do this. I'm going to Touch of Karma this to get some absorb action going on. And I'm going to use my cooldowns. Now, unfortunately, because of how pets work on this fight, the Stormworth and Fire clones are sitting at max melee range, and unfortunately, max melee range is longer on these growths is longer than what the Fist of Fury range is. So once you use Fist of Fury, your spirits will cast it, but they will be too far away to actually damage this growth. I know for a while I was using Serenity on this fight because it made sure that every tick hit, but I switched to Willing Dragon Punch because it is a little bit better overall. Just an unfortunate interaction. And then we're going to go to the next growth here. Now, it's important not to split damage. We want to make sure that everyone is focusing the same growth, so we kill it extremely fast. So we're just gonna go through here and kill each one of these growths. If we get Madness Bomb, then you will move out of the group, get your Madness Bomb popped. Other than that, you're just kind of trying to cleave these antigens down, because they will try to follow you into the phase 3 if you don't kill them. But there's some weird, like, there's a weird interaction if you jump off the ledge with them still active, where they'll evade bug out and not do anything. This is pretty much phase 2 for me. Other than that, just avoid these red circles. They will do heavy damage to you if you step in them, if you stand in them. Now, the most important part of this fight is phase 3. Phase 1 and 2, largely irrelevant. Phase 3 is the most important one and is the hardest phase. Now, phase 3, I did a lot of changes to what I was doing in phase 3. So the phase 3, depending on when you push here, you might be able to use your cooldowns right as you end. I'm going to roll off the ledge here so I get a little bit more distance. Tiger's Lust. And then I'm going to Serpent Kick, catch up to him. I'm going to use my SCF and Blood on the Enemy here, I believe. Now, it's like hit or miss whether or not I'm able to do this every time. Most of the time I was able to, but sometimes I couldn't. It just depends on when you push and how close you get to him. Additionally, our Warlock is going to put on a new gateway because he's going to cast Infinite Darkness. So he's casting it right now. Once the Infinite Darkness, once that Big Mix timer goes to 0, we're all going to mouse over and then use the gateway to go over. If you, for some reason, have the gateway cooldown, which you should not have, as Windwalker Monk, you can just use Flying Serpent Kick and it will do roughly the same thing. But I like to save Flying Serpent Kick for when I actually need it. So I save it here. Now, this is one of the harder parts of the fight. So you're going to have the player membranes happen. So once a player gets membrane, they're going to have to stand in this goo to pop it. And you want to face the direction of where the raid group is, so it goes there. Additionally, this is where the first Insanity Bomb is going to go out. Now, for the longest time, I was just standing in melee-ish with this bomb, but we didn't have that much space, because this is the most constricted space that you have to spread with Insanity Bomb in this phase. And because of that, I changed my strategy up on the day we killed it. So instead of standing here, I'm going to get Insanity Bomb, I'm going to finish up my cooldowns. Then these tentacles will start to come down. I'm going to put a Transcendence down. And then I'm going to go over here where the mages are going to blink over as well. I'm going to stand over here to give people more room to spread so that we don't cleave. Because cleaving the Madness Bomb is very bad. Excuse me. It's very bad. It takes like 30 sanity away. It does a lot of damage. It's not good. So ideally you want to avoid cleaving the Madness Bomb. So I'm going to stand over here. I'm going to wait for the bomb to go off. And then I'm going to teleport back. And then I'm going to kill these ads. Now, we end up the ads will just get just decimated by everyone because they're getting mass script. And then we'll get the second set of tentacles. So when you just group up, pretty simple. But we have the next Infinite Darkness happening in about 2 seconds. So this one, we don't have gateway. So I'm just going to use Serpent Kick. Most people will either speed pot or use any mobility they have. Like when people have to speed pot in this phase, Windwalker does not. You can just use Serpent Kick and save yourself and get a second pot. So here's the second player membrane. Now for this one, you want to wait until after the tentacles and then stand in the goo. So you'll see I'm standing in the goo. I'm not quite standing far enough back apparently, even though I'm standing in it. I pop it, move out, and we're good to go. Now the next one will be the next Insanity Bomb. Now this second Insanity Bomb, there's a lot more room to spread, so I don't move out quite as far. I try to stay near the boss. Then after this Madness Bomb goes out, there'll be another Infinite Darkness. Now this would be the Infinite Darkness that I would use Flying Serpent Kick on again. But you'll see something quite unfortunate happens. You see, I get a dance proc. Our tank does not have Avatar up. I'm punching, and I die. Unfortunately, I was doing too much damage, just too much, and I pulled aggro, and I got whacked by some ads, 4 in fact, and then Infinite Darkness went out, and then I died, and this was our kill. This is unusual. It's like first time that I've ever died to that happening. So unfortunate, but now it's a floor POV kill. And I could have lived there, so I want to go back and analyze that really quickly. What could I could have done a lot of things to live there. So I could have realized, oh, I'm probably going to die here. I'm probably going to have aggro here. For some reason, in my mind, I'm thinking, these ads are gonna get destroyed, decimated. There's no way I die. They're gonna die in like 2 seconds. I guess everyone didn't AoE them or something, or they did not die very fast. And I could have used health pot. I could have used diffuse magic. I could have used Touch of Karma. I could have survived this if I played better. But I just didn't know. Like, I've never died there because they've never auto attacked me. But I had threat on like every single one of them because I had a dance proc, Vita proc, a Vita charged Titan Shard proc, and additionally Vista Fury. Which I guess is just insane threat. I was not expecting that at all. So I die. But I would use Flying Serpent Kick here to get over the gap while everyone else uses Speed Pot. I don't need to use Speed Pot there. I can just Flying Serpent Kick. Or you can do like Tiger's Lust double roll or something. You can avoid that as Monk pretty easily. But from this point on, it's just managing your sanity pretty well. And popping the membranes. It's pretty rinse and repeat. If your sanity gets low in this phase, you get the 0 sanity. You'll get a debuff that increases your damage and healing done by a lot. But after it expires, you'll get MC'd. So what you want to do is, before that expires, you want to jump off the edge and die, so that people don't have to kill the MC'd version of you. And it's important that you jump off and make sure that you die before it expires, because what can happen is if you wait too long and you're too greedy, it will expire mid-air, and you'll get MC'd mid-air and not die. So make sure that doesn't happen, because it can be very bad. And they're going to gateway here for this next one. And then at this point, it's just kill the boss before you go insane. Like, this kill was pretty sloppy from us. We had a lot of people die, including myself. And yeah, we did not play particularly well. I did not play particularly well. Could have played better, not died. But we still managed getting the kill. This fight, I think, is pretty straightforward once you figure it out. The first 2 phases are kind of easy. And the third phase is a little bit tricky to learn, but isn't too bad overall. That's pretty much it, man. We'll see to get the kill here. 9%. 8%. Getting it low. Our best attempt is 1.79%. Getting it low. Getting it low. 5%. Now, unfortunately, because we have so many people dead, we have about 4 DPS dead at this point. You ideally want to beat this boss membrane, because you're going to get 1 infinite darkness here, so you have to move. And then there's a boss membrane in 5 seconds that you ideally would like to beat, because if you don't, you could potentially wipe here. Unfortunately, we do not beat it, and he's at 0.08%. And I mouse over his membrane, and we're breaking it. We're breaking it. Oh, hey, we get it. Boss is dead. We did it. No thanks to me. I was very useless. So we get it, and guess what? We get rewarded. But that'll do it for me, guys. This is the video. And make sure to like the video if you liked it. If any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down below. And subscribe if you weren't already. And thanks for watching.